something came to me. I was driving along about procrastination. Yeah, and so many of us are guilty of that. In fact, I've got a book on procrastination. I've just never gotten around to reading it. How's that for a funny joke? I actually do have that book. I bought it 20, 30 years ago, and it was a while before I got around to reading it. And I know what I did. I ran across a saying somewhere, a Chinese proverb, which I'd seen before. You've probably seen. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. That's a good one to file away. Best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. That'd be a good one if you're a really bad procrastinator, like most of us. Put that over the doorway, right? And I always think about when I see that of my, give those lectures to John over the years and my students and everything else. I put off planting. I was going to plant shrubs or some kind of cedars as a privacy screen, around the road on my place, or parts of it and everything. I just put it off, and every year I think to come up on the fall, I'm like, I got to get some pine trees going over there, and create a wall so I can't see the cars, and all that. I'd put it off year after year and never did. And I finally got the idea of some bamboo. I finally got some bamboo and put that in there. And it took 2, 3, 4 years for it to give me the privacy I wanted. It's still not quite there, but it's almost there now. And I'm talking about in the winter, especially, when all the leaves are off. And the bamboo stays green year round, and it's creates like the evergreen would do because it's evergreen. And I think about that. If I hadn't have done that 7, 8 years ago, I still would be in the same place, So like the very best time to have done that would have been 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I've been here 35 years, and I just didn't do it. But you put things off, and nothing gets done, and you don't get the benefit, right? And it's, again, I'm not a financial advisor, okay? Disclaimer, but it's the same with that, boy. I talk about this every now and then. You young people, whew, if you could just put away even $10 a month, $10 a week, go to a financial calculator for compound interest. Okay, a retirement calculator. They're all over the internet. Ramsey has one. They're everywhere. And put in your age, and put in. Just put in an amount of money that that you spend on soft drinks or whatever, just a amount that you could easily put away. Okay, and see what it would be in 50 years if you did put it away. In a fund, just any basic index fund, the market, which generally returns 8 to 10% a year. Okay, over time. And just see what that would be with a compounded interest. And that calculator, really don't procrastinate. Do that. If you don't do anything else, if you don't even start a fund or put any money away, go to one of those calculators. Now you may know how to do that on your own calculator. It's a little more complicated with compound interest, right? I couldn't do it. I'm too dumb. But I'm from Kentucky. Put it in there, and then you put your like $10 a week or something. What if I did put in $10 a week? It'd be simple. I wouldn't even miss it, or 50 or 100. I don't know what you wouldn't miss, and then just see what that is. Really, or you can run it out. It gives you a slot to put in 20 years. What is it in 20 years? 10 years, 50 years, 30 years. When you're 65 or whatever, and then put in. Well, let's see. Okay, this is fun. What if I really got halfway serious and put in like 10% of what I make, or 20%, or whatever? What if I stretched a little bit and put in something that I could realistically put it in there? I really could. I don't necessarily want to, or I'd have to give up a few things, but I could put in, I don't know, I don't know your income. Maybe it's $500 a month. I don't know. What could you do if you really wanted to? Put that in there. And look at what that would be in 30 years or 20 years or 50. And you might just be amazed. It might be 2 million. Yeah, I mean, it might, you know, you'll be surprised what the compound interest does. It doesn't go crazy it takes a few years to start going, you know, but man, toward the end of that curve, it's just up. And then ask yourself, okay, well, that's pretty cool. I could get started doing that. Yeah. Or you could be like most of us, or you could be like me with the bamboo and the shrubs and the evergreens. You know, I wait 30 years before I do it, or 25. You know, I'd have. Oh man, would I be happy if I had done it 10 years sooner? And of course, the same with investing. I wish I'd started when I was 15 or 20 or 25. So anyway, that's my. I mean, if you don't take any other advice you've ever heard from me, that is something that, boy, will you be glad you did it. You will be so glad in 10 years and 50 years, 20 years, you will be delighted. You just watch it grow and don't touch it. Don't touch it. And that's the other thing. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, just a dummy on the internet, but I have studied it a lot, read a lot, and I watch a lot of other experts on it. You don't want to mess with it much at all. You don't want to start thinking you can play the stock market unless you're going to be a day trader by occupation or some crazy thing like that. Just go to one of the brokerage companies. Now, of course, you probably have a retirement fund with your employer if you're employed that way. But if you don't, or even if you do, you can go to like Schwab or well, I go on TD Ameritrade and Fidelity, but you can go to Fidelity or Vanguard, and you set it up yourself in just a few minutes. You've got an account there. You get your wife's name on. If you have a spouse, you put your spouse's name on there too. So if you get hit by a truck, you know, all that kind of thing, and then you can set it up to put in automatically out of your bank account every month. And I mean, really, it is the best advice I can think to give. I wish someone had made me do it when I was 20, 30, whatever. I really do. And then just forget about it. You know, a total market index fund, S&P 500. You can't go wrong. And all these people that play the market, it's just like Las Vegas. They think they're making way more than somebody that's just putting theirs in the market in an index fund. Vanguard has proven this long ago, and you know, and all the brokerage accounts have the same funds, but that just put it in there and let it grow. People get rich they get rich slowly, not quickly. If someone gets rich quickly, it's an accident. You know, you can't plan that. You know, you just decide to invest in Apple or something, you know, when it's really, really low and nobody knows it's ever going to amount to anything. You can't plan that sort of thing. That's accidental for the most part. So anyway, that's my advice. Do it. Do it right now. You really, and you don't. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but you don't have to pay anybody to do this. Study it a little bit. It's not that complicated at all. Some of you are experts on your phone. You can, everybody, millennials, everybody. I mean, it's amazing what they can do on a phone, what you can find and research and do and all this kind of stuff, and set up experts. Well, how about using some of that expertise to investigate, like Fidelity or Vanguard, index funds? Go to Bogleheads. There's 2 or 3 funds. I mean, it's a no-brainer. And you can just put them in and not even worry about it, not think about it, the market. And I've studied it extensively. And most of what I do is just in like a Vanguard total market fund. You know, just there you go. And you can in a bond fund, I mean, you can have 2 or 3 or whatever, or 5 or 6 if you want to. But I mean, it's so simple. It's so simple. And then just forget about it. And you don't have to pay somebody a % of everything you have. Why do you think you see all these ads? Come see us. Give us a call if you have at least $500,000 to invest, or in your retirement, or $200,000. Why would it matter? Why they want to give financial advice only if I have $500,000 or I have 200,000 or some specific number? That's weird. That's like a plumber. Like call him up I need to come out and fix something. Well, I can only come out if you've got 3 bathrooms or 6 bathrooms and a house a certain, what? I'm going to pay you whatever you want to charge me per hour, you know, why it shouldn't matter, you know, or something like that. And well, the reason is they want to get your funds under their management. So they get a percentage of your funds, all of it, okay, to help you out, give you advice and buy and sell, and you know, which produces fees and all that kind of thing. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but so you can do it yourself. Just put them in a fund and let it go, okay? And don't move them around. Don't be selling and buying, you know, when the market's up and down. Just long term, 30, 40 years. I mean, if you have any kind of job at all right now, and you're in your 20s, you can pretty easily have millions when you're my age and younger than me, okay? That's just a simple fact. Put it in the calculator. All right, I know I spent a lot of time on that, but boy, there is no better advice than that, and I wish that I had been given that advice and it had been beaten into my head when I was 20, 25. Wow. I wish one of my teachers in high school, why didn't one of my math teachers in economics or in math run those numbers on the board? There were no calculators, right? Well, yeah, there were, I guess, but I mean, why didn't they run that for all of us? Say, hey folks, by the way, when you get out of high school and college, you want to start investing in almost anything that makes sense, and here's what will happen as it's compounded and as it grows 8 to 10% a year. Here's how much you can start with, and if you put this small amount in every week or month, here's what it'll be when you're 40. Here's what it'll be when you're 60. But even as dumb as I was, my eyes would have been, wow, really? You know, I can't believe that. I thought you'd be Howard Hughes to have that kind of money, you know? So, okay, got excited about that, didn't I?